Okay, I should be streaming, I think. I'm probably lagging like a bastard as well. That's fairly normal. Okay, hey, how you doing? Let me know if it's not showing. Okay, so ideally you can hear me. Hi, I'm Chris. How you doing? Okay, so this is kind of what I do. I teach people Unreal Engine. Ah, cool. Hey Vic, how's it going, man? Okay, so the tricky bit with PCG is that I'll just open up a quick content browser. Here you go. Yeah, I've got to go and teach this afternoon. I've got clients and stuff. I love teaching, but at the same time I get really nervous about it. So, okay, my PCGs. Anyway, I'm going to make a new folder, and my new folder is going to be PCG test. Okay, just so I know what it is, and I've got it in my PCG folders here. Now, what you've been doing in the past, I suspect, is probably making a volume or whatever using PCG. So you'd go PCG, and this would be PCG my volume, and then you'd throw it into whatever it is you're working on. But what I do instead is I bind my PCG to a blueprint. So what I'll do is I'll go to new blueprint class. I'll just try and do it so that you can actually see what I'm doing, because it's coming off my screen. Here we go, actor, EP, PCG, my volume. I always keep the names as tidy as possible. Now in this case what I'll do is I'll bind it to a spline. Let's get it loaded. Sorry if anything's jumping around and stuff. My computer's just had a hardware upgrade, so it's a little bit wonky. Anyway, PCG my volume. So in this case I'll add a spline, because I'm just going to use a simple spline to drive this one, drag it to there, and I'm going to add as well a PCG. There we go, PCG is added. For my PCG, if I have it selected in my blueprint here, you can see I've got an instance of a graph, and what I'll do is I will just grab PCG my volume and pop it in there. So now what's going to happen is my PCG is being directly referenced inside of this, which means that obviously I can go into my event graph and call the reference to PCG and access its various functions and stuff. Now how that bears to my actual blueprint itself, if I just compile and save, let's see. Now what I want to do is get my spline while I'm thinking about it, and I'm going to just make a rough curve. There we go, and I'll just make it a closed loop. Pop, there we go. Compile and save. Okay, so now if I go into my PCG graph, my PCG is already going to be directly referenced inside of the blueprint. So what I'll do is I'll do a get spline data, okay, and if you look up here on the right, it says active filter self, include children, so it's just pulling information from itself here. What I'll do is I'll drag that as well into the scene so you can see it. Hey PCG my volume, hope you're doing well. Okay, so next what I want to do is I want to sample my spline, and then if I'm sampling my spline, I'm going to change this dimension here from subdivisions on spline to on interior. There we go, like this, and save. And if I hit D for debug now, there we go, you can see what it's doing is it's basically creating my points on the interior here. Now I'm not going to go into too much things about density or anything like that, okay, this is just a quick thing just to kind of show you how we're doing it. So now for output I'll generate some mesh. Here we are, so static mesh spawner, and for my static mesh, I don't know, I'll come up with something, let me see, let's find some meshes. We'll have two different kinds, and descriptor, one will be a rock of some description, there we are, that one will do, and this one will be, I don't know, vase or a plate or I don't know, anything. So a plate, I'm sure I've got a plate. Oh, I've got lots of plates, cool. Oh, poppy. Yeah, I'll have a poppy. No, no poppies. God damn it. Any foliage? Yeah, hit close. That'll do. Right, hit save and close. Okay, so if I look at this at the minute, I've still got my blueprint in debug, so I'll turn debug off. There we go, that's already working pretty much the way I want it to. Bear in mind I haven't done any filtration to this. Now, the difference between this and working directly with a PCG volume is... Hey, no worries, man, I'll keep going. Okay, the difference is that I can now drag another one in. Okay, so you can see I've got two volumes working simultaneously here. And each of these, obviously, I can have different variable states set in. So, there we go. Now, as an example of that, if I get rid of these ones, just to kind of show you, I've got PCG Interior Cave Rocks, which is one that I built over here. PCG Interior Cave Rocks. So what I've got here is I've got two density noises. Okay, I'll just hover over these so you can see them. They've both got the same density noise min and max. Then I've got a density filter working on two different values, and a transform points, a static mesh spawner with several levels in it. And the difference is that if you basically use that with the various filters on and all that kind of stuff, then you can just drag it out like this. Just move this in. And then on the other side, I do love PCG. There we go. There, there, and there. See? So, ridiculously powerful system, and one that's incredibly flexible, because what I can do is, if I want to, I can set variables in here that will affect things like, you know, the collisions and all the other cool stuff inside of there, because all I have to do is go into my BP and drag off a reference to PCG self, and I can pull all of the data out of that, because it's all contained inside of my blueprint. Anyway, have a good one. Hope you have a good afternoon at work. New chum Vic, and I will